In this summit, we have guests from Singapore. They are the management of the multi-million company EyRIS, an artificial intelligence company that was founded from a research project in 2018. It is an example of how medical research can be translated into a useful tool in a clinic. Its Senior Vice President for Business Development, Dr. ستيفن, a clinician by training, a consultant for multiple medical companies. We have here with him, we have Dr. ستيفن with us today to discuss how they developed research into translated products into clinic. Dr. ستيفن. So we chose Singapore as one of the leading countries in translating research into patents and products and companies. They have a patent to publication ratio of 1:2, a ratio that is among the largest in the world. They have tens of spin-off companies from such research projects. We will discuss with Dr. ستيفن how Singapore made its way to such high innovations. Dr. ستيفن? So, what do you think Singapore do differently to ensure quality projects that can translate into useful tools?
I'm not here to represent the Singapore government, but I'd just like to share our experience from Singapore. Primarily, many years ago, when we started to do research and to actually encourage research in our institution, very much the key performance indicator for our country was actually publications. And then the country decided, the government saw that actually the publications was not enough to translate to commercial assets or commercial companies. They actually focused very much on a patent. And when that happened, there was a huge rush because it's a top-down driven kind of a policy. There was a huge drive to actually go for patents. So they set up many patent office. The WIPO office was being set up in Singapore. But still, the government could not see an increase in the commercialization. A slight increase, but not ideal. So eventually, the success of any kind of research is very much be able to convert what you have researched and translate it into commercial. And so the key performance indicator was again shifted by the Singapore government to actually see that how many of the research can be translated. So actually what we are doing now in Singapore is that for any startup or for any scientist who wants to do a research, and especially if those that are trying to get grant from the government, usually they will try to involve the commercial company as early as possible. So what the companies usually, or the scientists usually do, is that they try to go to a stage where they are able to prove the concept of what they are trying to invent, and then they will invite the commercial company to come in, and if they think that it's something that is worthwhile investing, the commercial company will not only provide commercial sort of advice, but also try to bring their regulatory team in. Because Singapore is a very small country. Our population is smaller than Jordan. And for us to be successful in any way, we have to bring our product overseas. And so the ability to be able to get the commercial sense and to be able to bring this across borders is actually at a very early stage where the proof of concept is actually being developed. And when the commercial company thinks that's a good goal, then what will happen is that the commercial company will actually prepare a letter of intent that they will invest. It's not 100% because we do not know where the investment will swing, how the research will swing to, but at least the project will be viewed more favorably when they are applying for grant. So that's how the Singapore, how we have evolved. It may not be still the best way, and we may still evolve, but this particular route have especially created an explosion of startups in Singapore, even during the COVID-19 period. So that's what we have done in Singapore.
So is there a specific example of how this ecosystem contributed to the success of translating research into companies and projects and patents that people can benefit from?
Oh yes, from the Singapore government's point of view, I think what they are looking for is whenever we fill up all this grant application, because we do apply for grants in Singapore, especially for startups, the two things that the government always asks is, what is the potential of revenue? And I think they ask this question quietly, I think as an enterprise, because it's a matter of the amount of taxes they can collect. once the company has become successful. At the same time, a very, very important question is how much quality jobs can be produced from this particular research and from this particular setup. And these are also these are all put into consideration and factors the government take into consideration when applying and approving grants for any of this new research that's ongoing in Singapore.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.